I do not own the rights to this music. However, as I've often shared, I purchased it on Apple Music. I do not own the rights to this music, but this is Friday, so let's finish strong. Hashtag finish strong and also hashtag let's grow. Hey, just a little something to get us going. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm very appreciative of that. My name is Alice Herndon. And with me, as you see, I have Coach Kim Berg. Yes.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
How are you? Good morning, everyone, as you're logging in. So good to see you and glad that you're joining me this morning. So this is about hashtag finish strong. And the question that I have for you is, what have you learned over the past 60 days? And Coach Kim, I know we were having some conversation just before we started. And one of the things that I wrote down some of the things that people had listed online last night.
Oh, okay. I think I saw a couple things too. That was good.
So what is the one thing that you've learned over the past 60 days?
So over the past 60 days, I think like out of the top-notch thing that I've learned is that everything doesn't have to be perfect to start.
Ooh, let's pause right there. So if you're joining us right now, please, this is something that you definitely want to listen to. So it's rather in your business or in your personal life. I really want you to think about it, and I want you to write down some of the tips and tricks that are going to be shared with you. What was it again, Kim?
So overall, the top-notch thing that I have learned is that everything doesn't have to be perfect to start.
That's enough. That's a mouthful right there, because I think a lot of times what we do when we're looking to start businesses, especially when I think about some of the who had come to me when they're in that idea phase and they're trying to figure out what it is that they want to do, but they want everything to be perfect.
Yeah, it's just not going to be that way. I often tell my clients, you have to think about apps, right? We download apps on our phones all the time and they update all the time, right? And so you have to think of your business like that. It's okay to start and update things as your business grows.
That's good, because I think a lot of times we want to I got to have a perfect website. I got to have a perfect this, or my business cards have to be done. The only thing that you really need when you're starting a business is to just get yourself set up legally.
Yes, legal matters is the most important thing. And I notice people don't have that. Have you noticed that, Alice? Like a lot of people, I put that down in one of my other notes, but a lot of people have been playing business for so long. And I think this pandemic has allowed people to really look at their formation documents or the documents they don't have to say, man, I'm doing business, but I ain't got no business.
Right. One of the other things that I heard for people who were sharing, I think Christina Harden, she shared one of the things that she's learned is to be kind, to be alert, and to be grateful.
Yeah, I think being kind is probably one of the most important things out of what she shared, because you never know what people are going through. And being kind is not only to other people, but being kind is to yourself, right? You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be gentle with yourself. And I think that's key.
I think one of the things that I learned, and that's to the point of being kind, is that I didn't realize how much I worked. I know that I enjoy doing it and I can get lost in it. Once I go down the rabbit hole and become a gopher hole and become a mole hole. But I think that I had to learn how to step back, rest, and be okay with saying it. Sometimes that incorporated the word no. Or not yet, that type of thing. And I realized that that's really not a bad word. It's really something that's healthy and helpful for us,
I'm glad you said that, because for me, my number one, because I wrote down 6 things that I learned. So I was trying to get prepared for today's call. And the number one thing that I learned is that we have to take a break. We have to have some quiet time. And the reason why that's number one on my list is because I'm like you, I'm a workaholic. If I love it, if I'm into it, I like to just do it, right? I want to get it done. But Alice, there's some days I'm working like 12, 14, 15 hours and not even noticing it because I'm passionate about it or I'm doing something. So for me, I'm working from home. I'm an educator. Most of my students aren't getting up 9 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, right? So I've learned to have to do my business work in the mornings and do my actual work for school in the afternoons because that's normally when my students are up. And so I literally had to switch my schedule because I'm used to working my business like in the afternoons. And so I needed a break. And so I've learned how to take naps. Well, I'm always the queen of a nap, but I'm learning how to like log off the computer, like, not shut it down, but move it away or walk away from the computer. Maybe that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I find, I think it must have been the other day, my day started right about 8:30. And then I went till about 10 o'clock that night.
Mm.
And then I realized that I had literally been committed to this chair
Yeah.
for a long period of time. And I said, okay, I gotta not do
Yeah.
it to myself. And it's no different than being if I was in the office. I would probably be driving from some one meeting to another. So I'm taking travel. I'm taking travel time now.
Yeah.
Take that 30-minute break where I can let my brain rest, or I can get up and I can walk and move.
Yeah. We have to get some movement. I sit in front of my computer literally all day. So I have to get up. I have to get moving. And that's been like number one, just to really just take a break.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. One of the other things, so it's been nice being in this space because I've also learned a lot about myself, and then I have some really powerful women in my tribe.
Yep.
I have some really powerful women in my tribe. It's been a great thing just to have so many women that I can call on, such as yourself. Gonna have some time with some more people, all of the facilitators that support me in the word, the
Yeah.
council. It's been great just to tap into their wealth of knowledge as well. And
Yeah.
so Tara Roberts shared last night that
Oh, let's go get her.
go-getter.
Hey, Sarah, that's a go getter.
Is embracing change can lead to so many successes.
Really can.
And so, where does that fall within your list that you made for yourself?
Embracing change. I think so. I don't necessarily have embracing change, but I will say my number two was being a fast learner and really just learning things about the back ends in my business that I probably normally didn't do. And most importantly, it's my like website updates, marketing updates. So like changing the way that I did things to be more consistent in marketing, websites, back end, like things that I personally don't have an interest
So
in.
we're talking about it because you were like, I'm having some challenges with WordPress here and I'm
Oh
trying
my God.
to so
Let me drink my tea to that. WordPress, baby. Mm-mm.
that a lot of people who are small business owners, you've had a little bit more time to be flexible.
Yeah.
While you still working your 9 to 5, you can also work your 5 to 9. And I always recommend that because what happens is it allows you to see if this is an area that you really want to get into, or if you might want to continue to maintain your 9 to 5. Any way it goes, you're still figuring things out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think um the whole thing about change for me
Mhm.
is just being okay with going with the flow. And for me as a go-getter, that's hard sometimes. I've learned over the last 60 days with like to be a fast learner, to be, you know, open to quick change. And what does that mean? So I'm just really learning like, okay, this is how the world is going to be. Let me get on this. Let me learn this. Let me try this. And I think that's been most helpful for me.
And that goes back to everything doesn't have to be perfect, because
Yeah.
we learned real quick during the
Mm-hmm.
last 60 days that a lot of things are not perfect.
Yeah.
It forces us to really reconsider how we've always done things, may not be the only way to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're thinking differently of, let me see how this works. Okay, if it doesn't work, try something else. Okay,
Yeah.
if it doesn't work, let's try something else. So it's the
Yeah.
discovery piece.
And I'm glad that you said the discovery piece, because number 3 on my list is tap into your creativity. I've been so creative the last 60 days. Like, it's been so amazing for me to learn things that I had that I didn't know I had, right? Or learn things about myself. I'm like, wow, I know how to do that. I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm also learning that some of the things that we do in business, it's more like protocol, or it's like black and white, but people, your clients, your customers, the people you serve are called, they're like, they want your creativity. They don't want something they can get from somebody else, because they'll go to somebody else. So you have to put your creativity into your business.
It's interesting because I kind of glanced over at the screen, and one
Okay.
of the things is someone says, "Oh my gosh, I love naps." You know, naps are
Oh,
scary, especially being in the house, because it's easily to get distracted, or it's easily to stay right, laser focused where you are. And I think that's one of the things that I've done. I've
yeah.
become really laser focused on things, and I lose myself in what I'm doing. Then I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, I'm not eating, which is the same bad habit that I had in
Yeah.
the. But
Sometimes I forget to eat. I have to set alarms, so I'm like the alarm queen as well.
mhm.
So queen of naps, queen of alarms. So I literally, before we got on this call, said, let me turn off my alarms, because I know alarm's gonna probably ring. Well, it was gonna ring at 8, which is the time that we started. I have one that's probably gonna ring at 9. Like, for some reason, like, I have them set like in hour times, just to make sure I'm like checking in on myself.
Right, right. And that takes me to one of the systems that I use, which is color coding. And so I think I've
Oh,
shared
I love it. Mhm.
on my calendar. I normally look at what am I doing for the next day. I do
Yeah.
that every night, right about 10 o'clock. I look at my calendar and say, okay, let me see what it is that I need to mentally prepare for. Did I miss something? And my first, red is for meetings for me. Or no, red is stop time. That means absolutely stop. I need to take a break, walk away. And I've now begun to start scheduling my walkaways, because
That's good.
I had gotten off of it, and I literally started doing things back to back to back. And I said, oh, I don't have anything on my calendar, so I can just continue to work. And so I said, I missed that step.
Yeah.
Didn't schedule my time to walk away. And so it's really good to use colors, whatever system might work for you,
Mm-hmm.
and begin to navigate, because as we migrate
Yeah.
back into activity, or
Mm-hmm.
activity with people, what does it
Mm-hmm.
look like for you? And so really, it's like I've learned that I can shift and pivot very quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pivot is your word. I think so I also use color coding. That's funny that we both do it. My color coding, because I work a 9 to 5, I own a business, and I have different sorority meetings and different things I do with mentorship with other people. I color code things based off of the event.
Mhm.
So anything red in my calendar will, of course, be for like sorority stuff, or red will mean very important, like has to get done, it needs to get done. I think all of my business stuff in my calendar is green, because money is green.
Moolah,
um,
moolah, right?
Hola. And I think yellow is my personal life. And I think it's another color. I think purple is specific to like the work that I do with clients, right? And then I think I have like another color in there, probably like blue is for school, because Walden's like a bluish like color. And yeah, so like I color code it based on the events or things that I'm doing.
Good. That's good stuff because what's your next number? So what's your next number?
Okay, so my next number is 4.
Okay, what was 4?
So 4 is sell online. And the reason why I came up with number 4 being what I've learned in the last 60 days is I can't be afraid to sell online. I think that for so long, so in January, let me back up. In January 2020, I started virtual coaching in my business.
Okay.
And that was even a scary thing for me because I'm like, people like face to face. People want to see me. I want to see people, right? I'm a hugger. And so this whole
So I'm a hugger. And so this has been really rough for me.
Yes, it's been rough for me. I haven't had Lord knows, a hug. I stopped count when the last time I had a hug. But what I do know is that I had to step outside of my fear. So if you're watching this or you're going to watch the replay, the reason why I said sell online is because you're going to have to step out of your fear of doing things when you feel like it, right? You're going to have to step out of your fear of sales. So number 4 is sell online. And I've learned how to really be in this whole virtual space and having online platforms to sell. So it's been amazing. I think in the last 60 days, I made so much money in my business, and it's really been eye-opening for me that everything that I thought I needed to be in person to do, I can do it online.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have learned that. What's your next number?
My next number is 5. You have anything to say before that one?
Go ahead.
Okay. Number 5 is check your analytics. So what do I mean? Number 5, in the last 60 days, I've been able to look at the numbers. And it's funny because I have a banking background. And I think I was sharing with my bestie Sade a couple of days ago about like, I'm not a numbers person. Like people were like, well, she worked in the bank. And I'm like, no, I was a customer service manager. And while I learned retail banking, I know all the roles. And before I left banking, I was a project manager and I was able to like use these skill sets. But I've learned in my business, Alice, we have to look at the numbers. We have to look at the analytics. And when I tell you numbers don't lie, I've just been wowed.
Yeah. I have a client that I work for and manage their social media for them. And part of that is looking at the analytics. So I put information up for the client, and I said, I want you to look at these numbers. And they said, well, what does this mean? And I said, do you see how many thousands of people you are reaching? And how many people that are viewing? And there's wild behind, like, oh my gosh, he said, I think I really need to start paying attention to this. And I said,
we do.
Yeah. And you reach people all over the world. And then you look at how many things are shared. So that you're doing, how often it's shared, how often it's viewed, how often it's commented on. All of those are important.
They're all important. And when I just say I've been wowed over the last 60 days in my business, I'm like, there's no way I cannot continue to move forward and not focus on these numbers because these numbers are telling me something. And I need to learn what this stuff means. And so I've been like teaching myself.
So Kim, it also, the numbers, as to your point, it tells you what your next is or what people are responding to.
Yep. And not only that, but I think it also shows us that our target client may have changed. I think oftentimes we start business and we think this person is our client, or we think this person is our client, but your client are people buying your products and services. That's what you focus on. And so for me, I just had confirmation that my target client is still the same. So it's been confirmation that this is what they want. This is what they're needing. And I'm like, okay, let me produce, because if this is what they're liking versus me putting out this content. So like, for example, if this is going over your head, say IG, for example, Instagram is that in your business. Instagram is a virtual platform about images, right? It's about imagery, and people like what they see. So I've been able to kind of look at analytics of what, you know, people like versus what people like. "Oh, they're not liking that." And so I'm like, wow, I notice that people want to see more of me, more, and that goes into my number 6, which is relationships are everything. So I've learned that people like to see me with other people. People like to see me with go-getters. People like for me to talk about go-getters. People like me out and out living and being world. People don't necessarily just like me talking about business and products. So it's more about the imagery and stuff that you post, and making sure under your post that you have really, really good copy. And copy is just a terminology that means messaging. Making sure you have a really good message to follow that picture. But people double tap on that picture, right? And I'm like, wow, okay, so I have to like learn this stuff.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to what's going on. I think that that's the other side of the marketing piece, because as you learn, so you made a comment earlier, and the comment was you may have started out serving this particular target market, and then you realize that's not your target market any longer. I need to be doing this. And it's the same thing with producing a particular widget, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your widget might be the first time that you produce it and you like what it is that you do,
Yeah.
but you also see that you've done something different and the people shifted to that and not what you originally began with.
Exactly. Yeah. Your clients, and again, I want to make sure I'm clear. This doesn't mean that you move every time your client moves. This isn't meaning that you give up on your purpose and your mission or whatever your values is in your company. I'm saying in the last 60 days, I've learned what it means to serve those people, right? To serve my clients in a way that they want to be served. And it's not about me.
Okay, got it, got it. We had just a little bit of static, so I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, you heard it?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. So, okay, so as we recap, go through your list 1 through 6.
So 1 through 6 is take a break. You want to make sure nap time. Take a nap, take a break, get some quiet time in, reflection. Do what you need to do for yourself, but you have to have some quiet moments. Okay. Number 2 was website updates, marketing. You know, really learn those back end processes when it comes to your business, because depending on how you come out of this pandemic, you may or not be able to afford certain services. Some of us have already turned off subscriptions and different things in our business, so you may have to learn. And if you're clear that you don't want to learn it, you need to be very clear about how much it costs to afford these services going forward. I'm always about paying somebody to do it. And that, my dear, I would pay somebody to do my website.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the things that I've been able to do, I was looking over bills, right? Like, where can I cut some savings? Where can I cut some costs?
Yes.
And part of that was through insurance. And so, short version, I made some changes.
Amen. Making changes in your business is so important. Number 3 was tap into your creativity. There's so many things I've learned about Kimberly over these last couple weeks and months. I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know that I could do this, right? And so that has been amazing. Number 4 was don't be afraid to sell online. If you don't have a virtual platform, you need to create one. And if you can't create it, you need to pay somebody to create it. You're going to have to learn how to do business online.
And even if you do it, you don't have to be an expert in it.
Yep, you don't have to be an expert, but just start something.
Start it to know how to navigate it if you make changes quickly on something.
Yeah, You really do. Number 5 was analytics. So making sure you know your numbers in your business. It's really important, Alice, I think, and for anybody who's watching, you have to know how you make money. You have to know what doesn't make money, because what doesn't make money in your business is probably something you need to change. And not only that, but you need to know the numbers. So not only just the money numbers, but you need to know like the social media numbers, right? Who's your following and different things like that, like really understanding your client.
So you said something about understanding the analytics. I transfer that to business. Is that now I think this pandemic has taught us that how much documentation we need to have in order and in place and set up, so that when we are asked for documents to apply for loans, because there's still monies that are available. There's like $102 billion that's still available, but we still have to have our documentation in place so that way we can apply.
We have to. And I have operational days in my business. And that's a whole nother call, but that's stuff that I share with my go-getters. But you have to have a day where you focus on your operations in your business, because that's how you stay up to date for things like this. And that goes back to just making sure you're not playing business, that you actually have formation documents, operating procedures, operating, anything. You need to know how your business run day to day, and that is important.
That is correct. That is correct.
And then number 6 was relationships. So I thank God for the relationship that we have. Like you said, there's people in your circle that you're just really thankful for. People in my circle, I'm just so grateful for relationship. Relationships are everything. And I think in order for us to go further in life, we're going to have to continue to build relationships with people.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that. So I was on a panel discussion on last evening.
Congratulations.
I mentioned that I have a millennial coach. And everybody kind of was taken aback. They says, why? How did you form that relationship? Yeah. We were part of the same organization 10 years ago. And it's been 10 years. And I said, we clicked, and I said, we were always supportive of each other, of things that we're doing. I said, and we've maintained a relationship. So iron sharpens iron. She shares things with me. Have you seen this? And so our phone calls are always, well, did you look and see this? Did you know how to do that? And so I learn how to do it. I'm going to show you how to do it.
And I think I honor that. And I think people need to honor generations instead of making people feel less than when it comes to your different generation, right? I think this is a prime time for us to learn and like hone in and making sure those relationships are cultivated. You need to cultivate the relationships that you have with people, and not just being able, what I love about us, we're not just able to, provide business help, but personal help. Like just making sure that there's a relationship where both of us are growing. Because, growth that's what I'm all about. So we have to make sure that we're all growing.
Yeah, I think that what's really important, because there's a workshop that you do is 101 net worth, right? Yeah. And it's really about the person building the relationship, and when they are, normally when I meet someone, I don't want to ask you for anything out the gate.
Yeah.
I want to know, what was it that I learned about you in our conversation? So you have a dog. You have a child that you recently had. I normally put that on the business for a quick tip. And then that way I connect with them the date that I met them, and I may reach out to them 30 days beyond, 6 days beyond, but I never wait until I need something, because I want communication with them versus asking.
And I think that's a fine line to a relationship, because sometimes in relationship, one of my mentors told me a long time ago, she was just like, Kim, people are busy. You have to tell them what you want. So like once you form that relationship, you need to be very crystal clear in like what this synergy looks like for us. Because if you can be open and honest with the relationship in the beginning, then you're able to see how this can grow. And I think some people are fearful for that too, Alice. So like, if people are watching, you're like, oh, I'm scared, I don't want to ask, I'm going to say step out of your fear, because there's people who got what you need to help you grow, but you're afraid to ask for it.
Right.
And you're afraid to pay for it. Let me put that out there.
Okay, that part too. So as we prepare to close, how can people reach out to you, Coach Kim?
Awesome. So you can literally reach out to me on every platform. Yes, I have a TikTok at Coach Kim Burke. And my last name is spelled Burke. So it's Coach Kim Burke on every single social media platform that you can possibly find. I'm mostly active on LinkedIn, and that's Coach Kim Burke as well. If you like, type in the link and then I will pop up. And the next most important platform I am actively on is Instagram. So those are maybe the first two platforms if you don't reach out to me. If you're really interested in my coaching services, go to coachkimburke.com right now, and then you can get a free downloadable and join my email list. Join the Go Getters community.
Good. That's it. My time. My name is Alice Herndon. Follow me, hashtag launch, grow, pivot. Be well. Have an awesome day.
Bye.